fan of frameworks because I think they give you a peek behind the curtain regarding how the sausage is made and what ends up happening on the other side. And you mentioned the foundation growth and scale framework. I'd love for you to maybe kind of unpack like what that framework like does and what it means to you at Flying Cat and how you work with your clients through this, and just anything you want to shed on it.
Sure. So we were talking earlier about how SEO takes a while and it's a long-term investment, and that is true, but you actually can create an end goal and make a blueprint, work your way backwards to actually get the fastest and most efficient way to effective results. So this is kind of what we're going after. Yes, SEO takes time. Yes, you need to be in it. It's like a lifestyle choice. You need to choose that, as that's going to be a channel for the long run. But you can make certain decisions that are going to make things move in the right direction faster, and you can accelerate and get to a certain endpoint. So this is what we're looking at it. We look at our clients this way. We analyze everything and say, what's the best possible scenario? If we put everything into it, where is the best possible place you can be? Because it might be different for different industries. I can't go into some super niche industry and say, if I threw all of my money into SEO, could I get to like 100 million users per day that are relevant and that are going to convert? Probably not. If the industry is super niche, if I'm going after cybersecurity CTOs or something, I don't know. It might not all be that relevant. So what we first want to figure out is, what is the best possible scenario? What's it going to take to get there? What's the next best possible scenario? Based on our budget, based on actually what is possible to do, what are all the possible scenarios? And then we work our way backwards from there. So we run it through the scorecard that we have, which is the Foundations Growth Scale scorecard. We look at 5 different pillars, and that's the technical SEO. So a lot of the things that we talked about, JavaScript rendering stuff, I'm not going to get into it now.
All the exciting stuff.
Yeah, all the really fun stuff that definitely will not make people's eyes glaze over. Then we have the conversion optimization. Basically, like, do you understand where users are coming from? So we work with some attribution vendors and set that up. We add the how did you hear about us? So this is really like a lot of demand gen work. We don't go fully into that, but we do want to be able to see what kind of impact we're doing so that we can optimize based on that. So, and then we also look at what percentage is the organic traffic converting into demos or free trial signups, and what's the benchmark? So we want to try to get everything else up, and we want to try to figure out why isn't it converting. Maybe sometimes you find pages that don't even have CTAs on them at all. You say, oh, well, that's an easy find. But basically we investigate, we look at these metrics, and we try to bring them up. Then we also look at UX. Is everything following best practices? Do the users have a good experience? We look at some Hotjar recordings, those kind of things. And we try to just make sure that everything is set up there appropriately. And then we have content. So content is actually just a small pillar, not a small pillar. It's a very important pillar, but it's just one pillar of the whole thing. So content is going to be depending on where you are, if you're in Foundations, Growth, or Scale. But in Foundations, for example, we're looking at things like, do you have every feature page optimized, every feature plus use case, every feature plus business vertical, all these long tail permutations? Do you have a page for each of them so that we're capturing all of this bottom of the funnel intent? Additionally, do you have a page for every single one of your competitors? This is one that we get a lot of pushback on because people don't want to talk about their competitors because for some reason they think that if somebody types in the competitor name and searches for them, that you're going to make them discover that competitor. But in search, they already know. They typed the name in themselves. So you can optimize pages for it. So we want to create all of those too, and all of basically everything bottom of the funnel. And then in growth, it starts to go into pain point SEO and those kind of things. And we just have a structure of the kind of keywords, seed keywords, and the modifiers that we want to create pages for. A lot of people ask, how do you come up with topics to publish? This is a challenge for them. And the way that we do this framework the challenge is just the time we need to create all of the content that needs to be created. There's so many pages that need to be created, and at quite a velocity. And then we have competitive positioning, which is extremely important. Basically, where do you stand against your competitors in terms of how often they're publishing, where they're ranking, and how many links they're getting from what kind of domain authority, those kind of things. Where do you stand and what's it going to take to be able to get there? So we look at all of these different things. We prioritize based on your current standing, and then it makes it really easy to see what we need to do every quarter to get to the ultimate goal.